Hi and welcome to this brief overview of how to use Curatr from the user's experience. So all of your learners will only need to know one URL in order to access all of their Curatr programs. If it's a maximum performance course, it will be www.maxp.curator3.com. So once they land at this URL and have signed in, they will see a page like this, which is called My Courses, and here they will see all of the Curatr courses that they have been enrolled on. So what I'm going to do is take you through a partially built sample course to show you how the user navigates through Curatr and how it works. So we select this course at the bottom here, which has a little description of what the course is about here. It also, by the way, has a little tick here to say I've completed this course, and these other two have little blue circles to show me that I haven't actually completed these courses yet. So let's launch this Planning and Management Development Program course. So I click here and it takes me into the landing page for this particular course. And what I'll see here is over to the left here a title and a description of the course, typically what we're going to learn on this program and what it's all about. We'll see further down here our progress through this particular course, so we can see I'm nearly halfway through this course, and what you see here is how many experience points or XPs I've scored. So we can see here out of the 23 available points to be scored through this course, I've scored 9. What we can also see here is how I'm progressing against other people on the same program. So if I click here on the leaderboards, it's going to take me to a series of different leaderboards for this particular course. And I can see there's a total score here. Anonymous user, which is myself, is leading with 9 points, and then the other participants haven't actually joined the program yet. So you can see total scores, course XPs, most comments, most objects added, most object views, etc., etc. And that adds an element of competitiveness and gamification to Curatr. So if we go back to the course landing page, we can see on the right here that this course consists of what we call levels, and there's 2 in this instance. So for every level there will be one of these little boxes here with a title for that particular level. I can see my progress through each individual level here. So again, I can see I've scored 8 of the available 18 experience points in level 1, and in level 2 I've scored 1 of the 5 available experience points. The Curatr program or course can be configured so that levels only open when the previous level is completed. So if I'd set this up to be what we call a linear program, level 1 would have to be completed before level 2 was opened up. So this would be greyed out, this image, and a little padlock item here, and it would only open up when level 1 was completed. We can also set it so that levels open up on a given date and time. So let's go into one of these levels and have a look what happens when we get into the level. So I'll click on level 1, Why Invest in Managers, and that will open up the level. I didn't click, let's try that again. Here we go, and we're into the level. So what we'll see here, and it'll be the same layout for all of the levels, the banner at the top, there'll be a little description of what's happening in this particular level on the left here, a progress report. So again, I can see I'm nearly halfway through, as we knew before, this level, and then I can click back to the page I was on previously by clicking on levels here. Now within this level there are I can see 3 objects. So this is the content that I'm going to consume. It's small bite-sized pieces of content, and as you can see here there are 3. There's an indication on the right hand side here of my progress through that level. So the green tick here shows me that I've completed that level, or that object should I say, but the other 2, this shows me that I have still yet to make comments. So as we go into a level, you'll see what I mean there. There are 2 things you do to score experience points. One is to actually open up the object and view the content and consume the content, and the second points are gained by commenting on that particular object. So I can see that I've done both in this object over here, but I haven't commented yet on these other 2. So let's go into one of these, and again you can do these in any order, which makes it a bit more attractive to learners. They're not told you must do each object in this particular order, so they can jump into Curatr through the day as and when they find time and just pick off one or two of these little objects and have a look at them. So I'll open this particular object, which in this instance is a video. So you can embed videos, you can link to videos on YouTube, Vimeo, etc. Other types of object you can have are PDF documents, Word documents. You can have links to other websites. So if there's an interesting article or blog on a website, you can link to that site, and it basically embeds that page into the window here on the left. So I won't watch that video, but as you can see, there's a video there to be played. What happens next is a point will be scored, or points will be scored for watching the video, but there'll also be points to be scored by answering the question that you can see over here on the right hand side. So this is a thought-provoking piece of content followed by a question asked of the learner, and then they will provide their input here in the discussion field here. So they will type something interesting in there, their opinion, their view, and submit that, and then that comment will appear underneath here, as will all of the other comments from all of the other participants or learners on this particular program. And people can respond and reply to each other's comments. So the facilitators would play a role there in answering people's questions, providing their own thoughts on the learners' comments, and learners can comment on each other's input. And we can see at the top here how many points, whether we've achieved the total points for this particular object, which we can see here. It doesn't say 6 or 1 or 2 or 3 out of 6. It shows that we've scored the full 6. And then I can close that object, and what I will see is that this has now become a tick because I've added the comment that was required to complete that object. So as I say, there can be multiple different types of object. If I open up another one here, we will see that this particular one is a website. So it will load the website page into the window on the left here. It's just as if you were actually on the website itself, but it's embedded into the Curatr window here. Again, there's a question on the right hand side, and all of the learners will add their thoughts. But we can see here I've 1 experience point. I need to comment to get the maximum of 6 points. And then once you've completed all of these, you'll be presented with an end of level gate if the program has been configured with gates. And the idea of this is once they've completed the necessary amount of objects and scored the necessary amount of points, you can then ask them a question. It can be an open question, it can be a multiple choice question. The idea here is to ask the learners to reflect on their thoughts and what they've learned, or what they'd like to see more of from that particular level, and they will see their own response plus all of the responses from their peers. So again, there's a very social element to this. Everybody will see what everybody else has to input. Then we can go back to the level. If we wanted to go back to any of the content and have a look again, we can absolutely do that. And what I can see here is some little red circles with numbers in. They are comments that have been made that I haven't yet gone back in and viewed. So that will show learners that other people have made comments that you might want to go back and read. And this again is part of the social element of people learning from each other's thoughts and ideas. So if we go back to levels now, having, let's say we've completed this particular level, we might now want to and be able to move on to the next level. This little green icon here shows that there was a gate for that level, but that because it's green, that shows that I have actually completed the gate. And then I can move on into the next level. And see, there's not much content in here yet because this is a demo course, but again, it will look the same. There'll be every object will have a little box like this, and users can just click on it and progress through the content. And that's really it in a nutshell. It's very simple. When they've completed the course, they'll get a little message here saying congratulations, you have completed the course. And they can then go back either from the button at the bottom here or from the top here. They can go back to their landing page and join another course, start another course. So that's a very, very quick introduction into the way that a learner would navigate around Curatr.